Sunny skies, gorgeous parks, funky festivals, succulent seafood, and cool beaches, and everything in between. The Sunshine State is the place to be this summer. Home to beautiful coastlines, mesmerizing sunsets, hippie nightclubs, and wonderful food. The state of Florida is truly a paradise during this time of the year. It is the fourth most populous state in the US and is the most visited during summers. Welcome! You're listening to TALRadio, powered by Touch a Life Foundation, and this is Foodology. I'm radio host Devansh, and on this show, I talk about the enormous world of a little word called food. Florida is the southeasternmost US state, with the Atlantic Ocean on one side and the Gulf of Mexico on the other. Tallahassee is the capital city, but not to forget that Orlando, Tampa, and Miami too are a part of the Sunshine State. The sound of Latin music blasts onto the streets, turning even an empty parking lot into a salsa dance floor. It is a destination for culture, art, food, and yes, its renowned nightlife. Miami is a melting pot of culture, celebrating the diversity through food, art, and entertainment. With over 150 ethnicities residing in Miami, it is no surprise that diversity is represented in the city's dining as well. Fresh caught sushi, Caribbean jerk chicken, traditional Spanish tapas, and restaurants which features dishes from all over the world. Miami has, in a way, become Little Cuba, with apparent influences in food, art, architecture, and also the language. If Miami is the party capital, then I'd say Orlando is the theme park capital. Orlando attracts more visitors than any other area in the United States because of its many amusement and theme parks. Disney World, Universal Studios, Busch Garden, MGM Studios, SeaWorld, and all these can be enjoyed 365 days a year under the gorgeous Florida sun. Florida has a lot to offer, and in the recent times, people from all over the country are moving to this state. Why? Because many people love warmer regions, and especially California for its beautiful weather, work, and beautiful beaches. The only problem is that California has a very high cost of living. As a result, people are leaving the state in mass numbers. Instead, people are looking for a beautiful state with amazing beaches and a low cost of living. This state is overflowing with amazing attractions and fun activities all year round. You'll always be able to find something fun and exciting to do, and you'll never be bored by the scenic landscapes. Don't even get me started on the food. Just like I told you that Florida and cities like Miami are a cultural melting pot, so are the culinary preferences of the people. Stone crab, Latin food, African American cuisines, rock shrimps, oysters, and even alligators frequently pop up on menus across the state. Hurricanes are something which can be devastating in Florida. However, their incoming is not as frequent and is unpredictable. One thing which occurs every year and is predictable is the wonderful summer season. To truly understand a region's cuisine, it's extremely important to understand its history. Getting into the history of Florida, things get really interesting because we find that people actually started coming to this land approximately around 12,000 years ago from the north. The first evidence of farming, dates back from around 500 BC. A lot of indigenous people continue to arrive from the north in small numbers, establishing contacts with Cuba, Bahamas, and possibly the Yucatan region of Mexico. Before the 16th century, there were no written records about the history of Florida. These records began with the arrival of Spanish explorer and adventurer Juan Ponce de Leon in 1513. He was the one who gave Florida its name, which means full of flowers. Florida was under colonial rule by Spain from 16th to 19th century and briefly by Great Britain during the 18th century, before becoming a territory of the United States in 1821. When European ships first landed on Florida in 16th century, the area was already well populated by the native people. However, they were exposed to deadly diseases that were brought by European settlers. Smallpox, influenza, and even common cold were deadly to those people. Of course, wars with Spain and other Europeans also contributed to near extinction of the early Indians of Florida. The slave trade, where native Floridians were taken as slaves, also helped to kill off the Aboriginal people. Greeks, Spaniards, Cubans, and Native Americans, among others, have left their cultural footprints at these historic Florida cities and towns. The Cubans migrated first to this easily accessible island of Key West, which is only 90 miles away, to flee from oppression and revolution and to transplant their cigar factories. Their influence survives in architecture, art, cuisine, which is well showcased at San Carlos Institute. African American, Japanese, Haitian, and Bahamian cultures have shaped many towns of South Florida. Greek divers came to Tarpon Springs to harvest sponge around 100 years ago. Today, you can witness busy marketplaces with salty scent of curing sponges, Greek pastries, chatter in the mother tongue, and a lot of Greek influence, especially in this region. Allspice, which is a spice originally from Jamaica, is an important ingredient found in spice mixes in summer barbecues, along with ginger, garlic, Scotch bonnet peppers, sea salt, and nutmeg. If you're visiting to the Sunshine State, you cannot expect to have a completely different touch of cuisine from the rest of the United States. You can find Cuban curries, Southern-styled pizzas, po' boys, burgers, sandwiches, and whatnot. But I can guarantee you that you will find some dishes that uniquely belong here. Let's start with something that's abundant in this part of the country: seafood. The cuisine of Florida is a delight for seafood lovers. As they say in Florida, the further north you go, the further south you get. What they mean by this is that a lot of Central and North Florida is characterized by Southern culture. Florida stone crabs. Florida stone crabs are actually found in western North Atlantic, all along the east United States and down to Belize, including the Gulf of Mexico, Cuba, and Texas. But they are especially famous in Florida. They are a seasonal treat exclusive to this state. Stone crabs are named for their ceramic-like shell that's rock hard and can be dangerous to handle when cracking. But it's not just the succulent claw meat that makes them so famous. Harvesting stone crabs in Florida is one of the most sustainable and highly regulated seafood industries in the country. Only the claws from stone crabs are harvested, not the entire crab, and only one claw is taken, not both. The crab is then thrown back into the sea with one claw remaining. and it regenerates a second claw. This famous crab is served either with a dipping sauce or made into crab cakes, bisques, salad, and whatnot. People of Florida take immense pride and delight in this crustacean. Cuban Sandwich. A Cuban sandwich, also known as Cubano, is a variation of the grilled ham and cheese sandwich. It originated in Florida, Key West, and Tampa by Cuban immigrants who needed a filling and easy-to-carry lunch. However, there are some tales suggesting that the first Cuban sandwich was created around 500 years ago by the Taino tribe in Cuba that inhabited the island before the arrival of Europeans. The Tainos used cassava. They used a cassava bread, which is a flat bread and which is hard and thin as a cracker made from cassava flour. Today, two versions of this sandwich exist. Salami is added in Tampa, showcasing Italian influence, whereas the Key West version keeps it to just pork and ham only. Miami features Cubanos of both styles, and a lot of cities dispute over who has the best Cuban sandwich. The combination of flavorful juicy pork, Swiss cheese, pickles, mustard, and Cuban bread makes this dish an undeniable hit. Cuban-styled bread is used for making this sandwich. This bread is made with a yeast-risen and enriched dough with a little fat. It's long, white, and soft on the inside, with a light and crispy crust. Next I want to talk about is something which most of us have never heard of before. Fried alligators. Sounds low-key gross, right? But alligator meat has been used both historically and in contemporary times in various cuisines of southern United States. Even alligator eggs are consumed. Alligator meat is high in protein and low in fat, and has a mild flavor and a very firm texture. Frying, stewing, roasting, tenderization, smoking, and a lot of these methods are used to cook alligator meat. As we all know that Florida is filled with alligators, so them showing up on a dinner plate should be no surprise. People here savor alligator meat fried with various dipping sauces. The Minorcan Chowder. You won't find this spicy specialty anywhere else in the world, except for St. Augustine. Minorcan clam chowder is one of St. Augustine's signature dishes. Its deep red color comes from the tomato base filled with vegetables, clams, and seafood stock, with a little kick from the dattel peppers, which is a key ingredient. The pepper was brought centuries ago from Cuba and harvested primarily in northeast Florida. Centuries ago, settlers from Minorca, which is an island near the coast of Spain, were brought to Florida. The people worked as servants on Florida's indigo plantations. The Minorcans created this rich chowder, blending their Mediterranean cooking methods with local ingredients, seafoods, and herbs. This chowder has become synonymous with St. Augustine's multicultural heritage and cuisine. Next up are Constritters. These are great as an appetizer, finger food, or an hors d'oeuvre to accompany your favorite tropical drink. Visit anywhere in this region and you'll find these tasty conch fritters on the menu. Conch fritters are made from conch meat, which are sea mollusks or snails. They are found in the ocean throughout the Bahamas, Caribbean, and West Indies. They are enjoyed with spicy peppers and served with a variety of dipping sauces and an array of tropical cocktails. However, it is now illegal to sell fresh conch meat. Only frozen meat from a reputable fishmonger are acceptable. Cedar Key is one of Florida's small towns, which is famous for its clams. It is located about an hour southwest of Gainesville. The next popular dish is arroz con pollo. The literal translation of this word means rice with chicken. It is a Spanish and Latin American dish, which is similar to a paella and is popular here in Florida. There is some debate as to whether it originated in Spain or Puerto Rico. Many Puerto Ricans note that arroz con pollo cannot be made without beer and annatto oil, and saffron is not a substitute. Beer and annatto are rarely used in Spanish cooking, and never in arroz con pollo, there in Spain. Annatto is frequently used in Puerto Rican cooking, especially in rice dishes. Key lime pie. Every restaurant in Florida Keys, and especially in the city of Key West, serves this wonderful pie. It is the official dessert of the state of Florida. Key lime pie is an American dessert pie made of lime, egg yolks, and sweetened condensed milk. It can be served with no toppings or toppings like meringue, whipped cream, and is cooked in a graham cracker crust. Or it can be a no-bake crust as well. The dish is named after small key limes, which are more aromatic than the common Persian limes, and have a yellow, not green juice. The filling in a key lime pie is also yellow, largely because of the egg yolks. The history and origins of key lime pie are still shrouded in mystery, but there are certain beliefs surrounding it. Key lime pie is probably derived from the magic lemon cream pie, published in a promotional brochure by Borden, a producer of condensed milk, in 1931. The sweet and tart pie reportedly originated in Key West, Florida, in the late 19th century. The use of sweetened condensed milk as an important ingredient was probably because fresh milk and refrigeration were not common in Florida at that time. Another theory on who made the first key lime pie is that sponge fishermen around Key West used to stay at sea for quite a while. These sponge fishermen created a pie with the ingredients available to them, like sugar, eggs, canned milk, crackers, and some nuts and citrus fruits. Word spread quickly among the fishermen, and this tart pie became a staple for their fishing trips. The key lime tree, which is native to Malaysia, probably arrived in Florida Keys in 1500s with the Spanish. Key limes look like confused lemons. They're smaller than a golf ball, with yellowish green skin that is sometimes spotted with brown colors. They are also known as Mexican or West Indian limes. Orange blossom honey is white to pale amber. Monofloral honey that is produced by honeybees harvesting and converting the nectar found within orange blossom flowers. Florida is famous for its orange blossom honey. This honey has antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-allergy, and anti-cancer properties. Orange blossom honey may protect against free radicals and can even reduce the risk of chronic illnesses. The orange blossom honey from Florida is not only famous throughout the country but also throughout the world. People come to this region for its laid-back atmosphere and the unspoiled natural environment. On land, there are bikes and golf carts. Offshore, they explore in canoes, kayaks, and fishing boats. If you are someone who enjoys hot weather and can handle humidity, Florida is the perfect vacation spot for you. This state caters to all, from kids to adults to senior citizens. It makes for a perfect tropical getaway. Plus, I bet you'd be able to create the most aesthetic social media feed with the pictures that you take here. Thank you so much for sticking around with me on this episode of Foodology. This is radio host Devansh, signing off. Hope you have a beautiful and a magical day ahead. See you soon.